Nature is absolutely full of examples of species working together through symbiosis to ensure that they carry on for future generations. And it's fascinating to watch this in action, and evidently it works quite well. But for the home veggie gardener, trying to make sure that you are getting the best possible harvest, sometimes you just gotta jump in and lend a helping hand. And I do mean that, literally. My name's Greg, and in this video I'm going to show you how easy it is to hand pollinate tomato flowers to make sure that you are getting the best yields. Stick around and let's see if we can learn a thing or two. So the tomato flower is often called a perfect flower because it contains both male and female parts. So the pollen only needs to travel from the stigma on the end down to the ovary at the base to pollinate the flower and set fruit. This is a bit different from, say, a zucchini plant, which has separate male and female flowers. The male flower on the end of a longer stem contains the pollen, and the female flower on what looks like a very tiny zucchini contains the ovary. And so both of those flowers need to be open at the same time so the pollen can be transferred from the male flower to the female flower to actually set fruit. If that doesn't happen, then eventually that female flower will just shrivel up and fall off the plant. So pollination is much simpler on a tomato plant. It can happen naturally from the wind, or if you have lots of bees visiting the flowers, or you can do it manually. If the plants are growing outside and you have lots of pollinator attracting flowers around, then you'll probably still get a very good fruit set even if you do nothing to help. But if you're growing them in a greenhouse or on a very small balcony or patio, then it may become a necessity to hand pollinate them just to make sure that you get a good harvest. Regardless of where you're growing your tomato plants, you should be hand pollinating the flowers if you want to get the absolute best yields. And who doesn't, right? Nature does a very good job, but it always helps to have a good insurance policy. Now, there could be other reasons why a tomato flower would fail to set fruit. The plant could be underwatered, the temperature could be too hot or too cold, or the plant might not be getting enough of the right nutrients. But assuming that your plants are healthy and happy, then hand pollinating can make a very big difference in your overall harvest. Now, the easiest way to do it, and my favorite way, is to simply use your finger to lightly tap right above the flower on the truss. And I do this on a daily or near daily basis, and I'm getting fantastic results. I mean, as far as I can tell, it is 100% fruit set from this. So you just have to be careful, make sure you're not breaking the truss at all. And of course, I don't remember exactly which ones I've already tapped on and which I haven't. So every day when I come out, as long as the flower is wide open, it gets a few taps just to ensure that it's pollinated. Now, a lot of gardeners really like to use the electric toothbrush to do this. And that's also a very effective way to do it. It's very simple. Just turn it on, hold that against the flower to vibrate it, and shake that pollen inside the flower. So a lot of my favorite YouTube gardeners swear that this is the most effective way to pollinate them, and I agree that I'm sure it does work very well, but I have not tried using it myself simply because I haven't needed to. The finger tapping method has been working, as I said, with, as far as I can tell, 100% fruit set. So I haven't found it necessary to switch to using the toothbrush. Now, I can see that it might make the process more efficient, especially if you have a lot of tomato plants and you're trying to get them done more quickly, but we only have 9 plants, so far we haven't really needed to switch to doing something different because we're getting fantastic results already. So even if the toothbrush is not any more effective than using your finger just to get fruit to set, it may help to prevent what is called catface on tomatoes. And this happens when not enough pollen reaches the ovary to fully form the fruit once it starts growing. You wind up with a rather malformed fruit, And it's simply a cosmetic thing. There's nothing wrong with the tomato at all. My wife and I don't care if that happens, but if you're trying to get perfect looking tomatoes, then the toothbrush may be the way to go. It vibrates so quickly, you get a lot of pollen moving around in the flower, then catface is probably a lot less likely to happen in that case. So it really is that simple. Just some light tapping with your finger to get great results from your tomatoes. So thank you very much for watching. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.